everyone. Good evening. This is Peter Vertigem with another Wellness Wednesday. So tonight's topic is, as you've seen, sleep. And sleep, I'm originally a scientist. I'm a biochemist. I did a lot of work on different biochemical processes in our body, but also spent the first time of my career, the first few years, in a medical nutrition company. A medical nutrition company means a company that is not a pharmaceutical company, but they use a nutrition as some kind of intervention and prevention methodology for all kinds of health concerns. And sleep is very much overlooked. Sleep is, people think we do it every night. What's the big thing, right? What's the big deal about it? What it is, a very important aspect of our daily rhythm. It is clearly more than just rest. We feel tired, we go to bed, we sleep, we wake up. No, it's a very important process during the night, and we spend 8 hours per day on average in bed, being asleep, hopefully. So that's 1/3 of our life. And our biochemistry is very dependent on the quality of our sleep. It is essential for our overall health and well-being. So what we do during the sleep is not just being out and have dreams. No, we regenerate our body during that time. During that time, it supports the brain function, it improves memory, enhances the mood, and clearly boosts productivity during the day. And, particularly the recovery phase during the sleep cycle is very important because some people say our brains are washed during the day, toxins being removed, resetting happening, immune support is going to be stronger. And it clearly is shown in studies that if you have better sleep, better quality sleep, you're going to have a better long-term wellness. And that is, I believe, in the goal for us all. So if you don't have a good quality sleep, you're going to suffer. Your mind is going to suffer. Your body's going to suffer. You're going to result in chronic fatigue, stress, and clearly also a weakened immune system. So that's why, sleep isn't just like a nice thing to do. It is nice, I can tell you that, but it's also essential for an overall health. And here you see the scientific sleep cycle. It starts with a light sleep. We call that N1, N2 phase, okay, whatever. They give it names. But then we get to the deep sleep, after the second part of the sleep cycle. And deep sleep is where it happens. That's where we really regenerate. And then finally, we have the REM sleep, the rapid eye movement phase, which if you have a partner and you share the bed with someone, you've seen this. You've seen this when eyes are moving rapidly under the eyelids. That's why it's called rapid eye movement sleep. And that's the most critical phase of our sleep cycle. That's also where we dream the most, right? And this cycle is not just one cycle. No, it goes on and on and on during the night. So you go from light to deep to REM, and then it starts again. Typically about 3 circles during the night. So this is how we look at it. And it's not a unrecognized problem because I'm going to show you some statistics. We have 1 in 3 adults in Europe that suffer from sleep disturbances regularly, and I'm sure some of you on this call have the same experience. I have it sometimes, not every night, but sometimes I really cannot get asleep, or I wake up during the night too often, or I wake up too early in the morning, and that is different ways of having a disturbed sleep. But 1 of 3 adults in Europe suffers from that, and even 50 to 70 million people, this is from European Insomnia Study, experiences chronic sleep disorders. Now, I'm a member of a couple of Facebook groups that focus on sleep quality, and you see how many people are not able to fall asleep, to stay asleep, and to wake refreshed. And that is so important for our overall health and happiness and well-being. 40% of Europeans say they wake up feeling unrefreshed at least 3 times a week. They have slept the whole night, but they just don't feel like they're ready for the next day. And that is, of course, another big issue. 12% decrease we see in productivity. This is an economic number. But companies suffer from this. The economy suffers from this. People are having a decrease in productivity, and that's costing, of course, European businesses a lot of money. And it's typically a women thing. Men and women both have it, but women tend to be suffering from insomnia, so chronic sleeplessness, 50% higher, so 1.5 times more than in men. And specifically in the later age, in menopausal time, women tend to suffer more from insomnia, and men tend to typically have it when they are stressed individuals. So this is a concern. This is a concern for each and one of us self. We don't like to be having problems with our sleep, but also for other reasons, economical reasons, and just health reasons, because it has a direct relationship with that health situation in our body. So that's why Canaway is focused and developed Sleep 3. Now you recognize, I want to say two things about that. You recognize the number 3. We had already a product called P3, which is pure plant power. And Canaway has moved into that philosophy of using hemp. Hemp is always part of our products, but sometimes we branch out and adding more ingredients to it. P3, Pure Plant Power, is the first example of that, where we focused on everything goodness of hemp, but also included the antioxidant effects of many different herbal extracts. And now we're doing the same with Sleep 3. So Sleep 3, a hemp-based products, and fortunately, hemp has already great data on improving sleep and sleep quality. But now we've also added additional components to it to make it even better, stronger, more effective. So the 3 components here in the product, Sleep 3, is raw hemp oil. It has also an extra increased amount of CBN, which is one of the cannabinoids that has been linked or studied and proven to have improved sleep benefits. But we also added additional botanicals, and I'm going to go through those botanicals in a moment. The key features is that it's not a real strong effect like a sleeping pill. Some people take sleeping pill, I sleep 7 hours, and fantastic. I must say, in my life, I took one time a sleeping pill. That was when I took a transatlantic flight, and a doctor I knew, he said, "Hey, I always had difficulty in falling asleep in the plane." And I said, "Take this pill." Well, you take the pill and you're out, all right? But you're not sleeping in a high quality way. You're not getting refreshed in the morning. You just kicked out, by that pill. That's not the healthy way of doing it. Canaway with Sleep 3 does it in a gentle way. It gently eases you into sleep without having the sedative effect. I mean, we can kick you out with a pharmaceutical, but that comes with a lot of side effects. We want to do it in a more natural way. It makes you calm. You take it just before sleep, and that means that your body gets in a calm, relaxed state, which makes it easier to fall asleep. And then fresh. We want to make sure that you have your night's sleep and you're going to wake up in a fresh way without feeling groggy. It really supports that restorative sleep, so you can face the next day that's coming, and that's the most important thing. So what are the ingredients? Well, first of all, organic hemp seed oil, mint macerate. Yeah, sounds like a long word, but what it means is we take the seeds of the hemp plant and we use a mint macerate. Now, macerate is a term that you may have heard before. There's a different way of extracting healthy components out of a plant. It's a very gentle, low temperature, takes a long time, but it takes out all the ingredients from a plant without destroying it. And that's very important because biochemicals, phytonutrients, tend to be sensitive to heat, tend to be sensitive to external effects like strong solvents. And if you don't use that by using a macerate, which is not invented by us, it's been around there for many years, but it's a very gentle way of extracting, in this case, omega fatty acids, but of course also the cannabinoids that are present in the hemp seed into the oil. So that is the kind of the basis of that product. This oil is really relaxation. Yeah? It provides relaxation during the time that you want to fall asleep, and it's a sense also stress relief is going to be provided by this oil. It even has a mild cooling effect because of the mint macerate. Mint macerate, as you can imagine, mint has a mild cooling effect, which is beneficial if you want to fall gently asleep. Now, then again, the second ingredient is, of course, raw organic hemp extract. As I said, all our products, whatever we do, always are based on the wonderful hemp plant. THC-free, it's the green oil, so the most purest direct extract from the hemp plant, which is the most broad spectrum cannabinoids you can think of. In fact, we've been able to analyze already 59 cannabinoids in this metabolic analysis. If you've seen some of my short videos, I discuss metabolic analysis, and I express how powerful these days we can analyze different components in oils. In the meantime, many years ago we knew about CBD. That was it, right? Now we know more than 200 different cannabinoids from the hemp plant, and this product has already shown 59 different cannabinoids. That's how powerful these cannabinoids are. They're everywhere in the plant, and they all have different shapes and forms. They have a structure that is common to all of them, so they have benefits that are all common to all of them, but they all branch out in different biochemical effects in our body. And 59 yet, we will probably find a lot more of these ingredients in this Sleep 3 product. So this clearly supports sleep cycles. We knew that cannabinoids are going to be making you relaxed, making you improve your sleep and reduce your stress, and therefore enhance your relaxation. That is the first step, of course, of falling asleep. Being relaxed, making sure that your body is able to go from that awakened state, worry-free, into the sleeping state. That is the key thing. And then we've added CBN. Now, CBN, I have another short video coming up on CBN the next few days, because I discuss the most important cannabinoids one by one in 1 or 2 minute short videos. And this is a special cannabinoid. It is formed in the hemp plant. And if you harvest the hemp plant at the right time, you can actually get a higher concentration of CBN in your oil. And we've been at the lab in Poland, and over there we actually saw how, CBN it's not pure CBN, it's still broad spectrum, but CBN is clearly higher concentrated in that extract. And that one has been shown to improve the sleep quality, mostly the time of falling asleep, that is clinically proven, and staying asleep. Because a lot of people that yes, may fall asleep, but then get awoken every 2 or 3 hours. And that does not improve your overall sleep quality. CBN has a number of studies have shown that, it does not change the length of the sleep, but it does change the fact that you don't wake up all the time, which is, of course, an additional benefit. Now we go to some of the other herbal extracts in the product Sleep 3. One is poppy seed oil, and maybe you know this, but I have a story from my family. My father, he always said when he was a kid and he didn't sleep well, like kids sometimes don't do. His mother, so my grandmother, always gave him a hand of poppy seeds. Poppy seeds just to eat as a snack. And poppy seeds, of course, have these components in it that make you fall asleep more easy, that relax you again and make you feel better before sleeping. So that was a natural remedy, and that's one of the reasons why it's in here. Of course, since that anecdotal stories, which is like 60, 70 years ago, studies have been done. We have been able to extract the components in the poppy seed that really makes this beneficial for falling asleep. So it is also a relaxing effect, gives you the effect that your muscle tension is going to be relieved, right? Which is, you want to be relaxed in bed, you want to feel comfy under your blankets, and that all promotes falling asleep. And that's what poppy seed oil is doing. We also included walnut oil. And walnut oil is, for one specific reason, it has many benefits, but one is it's rich in B vitamins, as a side note, because I did some studies myself on B vitamins, and walnuts was always coming up as a very potent source of B vitamins, particularly vitamin B2. But it's very rich in melatonin precursors. Now, melatonin, you may have heard of this. Some people take melatonin pure melatonin to improve the sleep. It's kind of a pharmaceutical intervention because melatonin is a hormone in our body. Our body produces melatonin, right? Yes. And it is a signaling molecule that makes us fall asleep. Yes. But if you force it by giving your body pure melatonin, which typically comes from a synthetic source, you're again going to introduce those side effects that we see also with pharmaceuticals. In fact, It is in some countries regulated as a pharmaceutical. Now, melatonin also has recently some kind of negative connotations that it may have some other, mental effects that we don't want. But I believe melatonin is, yes, it will help a bit. But what people tend to do is then think, okay, melatonin makes you fall asleep. Let's give us a mega dose compared to what we normally produce of melatonin. And that causes the side effects that we don't want. Better is it to give our body the precursors. Precursors mean the building blocks of which our body can make melatonin. And the body will make just enough, right? If we have difficulty in making melatonin, thereby having a poor sleep quality. But if we then give the precursors of the melatonin, the building blocks, our body has the ability to make more of it, rather than giving it a megadose of finished melatonin, which I don't believe is the best approach to this. It also improves the blood sugar control, as you can see here. And, blood sugar control, as you know, blood sugar goes up and down because of insulin and consumption and stress and things. And if that fluctuates all the time, you also have a worse sleeping pattern and sleeping quality during the night. So if the walnut that flattens this out, that makes sure that the blood sugar level is going to be more leveled during the night, you're going to be experiencing a better sleep. We also have Melissa Macerate. Again, the Macerate, the soft, gentle way of extracting the ingredients, the phytonutrients from the Melissa. This is a very old, well-known herbal extract, also for calming effects and reduce anxiety, right? And if you have that at the start of your night, just after you've taken your sleep 3, you're going to be easier in falling asleep. Chamomile is a very well-known tea. A lot of people drink chamomile tea in the evening. Why do they do it in the evening? Because it helps them relax. It helps them fall asleep better. It's a renowned herbal sleep aid, which is, makes people less restless during the night. And, that is a well-known thing. And of course, in the meantime, studies have been done. Studies have been done comparing people that drink normal tea versus chamomile tea. And then they see that chamomile tea really makes people easier to fall asleep. We also have natural vitamin E. That is a powerful antioxidant. We know that. Vitamin E is, of course, a well-known antioxidant, but it supports cellular signaling, and that's an important part during the sleep as well. And your brain cells can communicate with each other, making sure that the overall, communication, which is essential for relaxed sleep, is happening continuously. And it promotes the nervous cell health. Nerve cells are constantly under attack by free radicals because of our lifestyle, because of external factors from our environment. And natural vitamin E is limiting those damaging effects. It's more like a long-term ingredient for improving your basis for falling asleep and having a good sleep night. Then we have curcumin. Curcumin is typically the anti-inflammatory effect. We have it also in separate products, but curcumin it's easing physical discomfort. And as you can imagine, if you have pain in some place, in your calves, for example, or in your elbows, those are typical, or in your neck here, these are typical places where physical discomfort can occur. You're going to be not so effective in falling asleep. So this curcumin reduces that inflammation rather quickly, and thereby making it again easier to fall asleep. And then we have some terpenes. These are from lemon, neurolidol, limonene, and linalool. They're also present in the hemp plant, but we have an external source here to add on top of the hemp terpenes. They also provide a relaxation thing. Now, why do we focus so much on relaxation? Well, it has to do with the fact that, there are many different processes that play a role. And I'm a firm believer of having different phytonutrients working together to reach one common goal. That is, in essence, also the entourage effect, right, in the hemp plant. Entourage effect means, yes, one cannabinoid does a job, but 10 cannabinoids work together and do it from different angles and have a much stronger effect without the side effects of just giving one megadose of one product. When I talked about antioxidants some weeks ago in a presentation, I always have this picture of all kinds of different herbal extracts and vegetables and all kinds of things. And they all have their own individual phytonutrients, and they all have an individual binding site in our body. And they all have maybe similar effects, but reached in a different way. And if you do that together in a product, so synergy, then you're going to have a much stronger effect with less side effects because you don't have an overdose in one of the individual ingredients. So that's why I believe in mixtures. That's why I believe in broad spectrum cannabinoids, because many cannabinoids do the job much stronger without any side effects. That's why I believe in herbal extracts together, because they maybe have similar effects in the end, but reach them through a different biochemical pathway. Hop is another ingredient in the Sleep 3. Hop is, of course, used to brew beer. That's what people use hop for. But we haven't brewed beer from it. We just extracted this hop plant, and it gives you, it improves the sleep onset because of the phytonutrients. It's traditionally used, it's a long story. There's a lot of stories about this for insomnia. But again, science has evolved, and we now know exactly which ingredient is part of it. And finally, we have cinnamon oil, which we know as a warming, it gives a cozy feeling, right? And cozy feeling is a very important part also when you want to fall asleep. It regulates, again, the sugar and insulin levels, supporting the metabolic balance. But because of that warm feeling, the smell, the same is true for the lavender oil. You feel, yeah, just cozy. That's the best word I can use. All kinds of in difficult biochemical terms, but that's what it is. And all those things together make you fall asleep and stay asleep longer. So this product is not a single ingredient product. I hope I made that clear. We focused on making sure you're relaxed, that your mind is at ease, that you have positive thoughts, that you're relaxed in your head, but also in your muscles. That means that you don't have any physical discomfort. And that makes you fall asleep easier, right? And once you got into that light sleep cycle, we want to prevent you from waking up, because then you start again, right? So you want to, once you fell asleep in that light sleep phase, you want to go to the deep sleep phase. And that's why the ingredients that I mentioned help you to not wake up all the time, stay asleep. Particularly CBN is doing that. And that's why you can reach to that deep sleep and finally the REM sleep. And that's the cycle you want to keep on promoting during the night. As I said, 2 to 3 times during each night. And that's why I believe so strongly in the product, because it helped me. I've used it now for a couple of months, and I know exactly how I feel relaxed. I go to bed. I take it about an hour, half an hour before bed. I sit down still for a moment. I read some stuff. I do some internet work, and I feel, okay, now I'm ready for bed. I go to bed. I fall nicely, gentle asleep. I stay asleep, and I'm waking up in the morning very relaxed, refreshed, and ready to face another day. So who needs this product? Well, a lot of different people, Of course, people with struggling with occasional sleeplessness. If you stay awake 8 hours a night, every night, then you need really some medical help, right? Because then you really are, in need of medical attention to improve your health and wellness because of lack of sleep. But if you are occasional sleeplessness, you don't sleep that well, maybe you don't even know it. Maybe you start using Sleep 3 and you notice, hey, I suddenly sleep a lot better. Well, that because you didn't know about your occasional sleeplessness, right? But also high stress individuals, busy professionals that have to relax their mind and their body before going to bed. This is a perfect product for that process. And also professional athletes, people who run every evening, or people who take a big run in the evening or whenever during the day, and they want to have they want to have better recovery, because sleep is the prime phase in your daily rhythm to have recovery in your muscles, in your mind. So for these people, it's also very well suited. Or shift workers, they have, sometimes they work at day, sometimes they work at night. That's very disturbing for your sleep cycle. And that's where Sleep 3 can really help you with. And of course, typically older adults with age-related sleep problems that they're facing. So we used to have another product called Sleep Applicator. Now, Applicator was a very strong product. It had also melatonin in it. And I just made a case why melatonin is maybe not the best ingredient. It works, absolutely works. You fall asleep. but maybe it's better to do it in a natural way, looking at precursors of melatonin, what the walnut oil provides you in this product. So it's a softer product than the applicator, but of course still very effective, but it's more gentle. And that more gentle helps you also with the waking up, because it makes you better relaxed in the morning. So I think it's a better approach to improving sleep quality than the stronger sleep applicator. However, that product had many benefits for people who are more on the more problematic side of falling asleep. So it is clearly, we're reaching out to a bigger market that we know that are happening. And people who have been using it, I just gave you my own personal testimony. Donna, a lady from the United Kingdom, she says, it helps you unwind, drift off easily, and then wake up refreshed. Those are the key components: becoming relaxed, falling asleep easily, staying asleep, and finally waking up in a refreshed way. So I'm so proud that Canaway has asked me, because I used to have experience, well, I have experience in providing clinical studies with natural products, that I'm going to do a clinical study with this. And what does that mean? We're asking people to join this study who want to try the product, right? If you're using it already today, I'm sorry, but we don't want you to try it, because then, you already have the effect, so we don't see an improvement. But if you haven't used Sleep 3 yet, please scan this QR code. I'll mail it also, and when the video is going to be broadcast to different countries, you can put it on pause and you can scan this with your cell phone. You just take a picture of it, and it leads you to a website, and then it leads you to a form that you need to fill out. Who you are, how old you are, where you live, of course, and it gives you some questions about your current sleep quality. You can also send this to other people. Use this as a recruiting tool. Why not? Why not, approach people and say, hey, I have this great new product. Canaway has developed this. Would you like to try it? And who's going to say no? Because they get the product 2 months for free. 2 months, they get Sleep 3 for free if you join this study. Apply for it, send in the form results, and we start in January 2026. We're now collecting all the people who want to participate. We have already many, but we could use more. So please send us your information if you want to do that. And you get 2 months worth of product. And all we ask of you is taking it every day. And once a week, we want you to fill out a questionnaire. It's not a thick book. It's just, a 2-3 page questionnaire where we assess the quality of your sleep, and we hope to see and expect to see an improvement during that study period. So please join us. Now, if you like this video and if you want to know more about it, just follow me on my social media channels. I have different opportunities: WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook. We do it all as you please, because everybody has their own favorite communication channel. This is where I post this video, for example, in different languages, but also where I post my short videos on different topics concerning the hemp and Canaway. I also, post just fun stuff, experiences from people, and show you how Canaway and their products has changed their lives, both in a health and wellness way and a financial way. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and I hope you learned something. You will get this all in your mailbox, this video, and then I'm always ready. If you send me an email back, I can always answer questions that you specifically have. But do consider the sleep study. Apply yourself if you haven't used it yet, and use it to approach other people to try the product for free. I think it's a no-brainer to do that. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again in 2 weeks when we do another Wednesday Wellness.